Bloom's original and revised taxonomy. First of all, I would like to discuss a little bit history about the Bloom's taxonomy. It was created in 1948 by psychologist Benjamin Bloom and the several colleagues of him. Originally developed as a method of classifying educational goals for students' performance evaluation. Definition. Bloom's taxonomy divides the way people learn into three domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Now, the cognitive domain emphasizes the intellectual outcomes. This domain is further divided into categories or levels. Number one is the keywords which are being used by the teachers and the type of questions asked by the teachers. These are all the levels. Knowledge comes at the lower level: comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Now we will discuss about knowledge. Rote factual knowledge of specific terminologies, ways and means. Now here the knowledge is actually based on the rote memorization, and here the behavioral learning outcome, the ability to recall appropriate learned information on command. What kind of learning outcome will be uh, assessed in the personality of the student. Here the student will be only able to recall the appropriate or the specific word formats, specific terminologies, maybe the sentences, or maybe any content which is based on rote memorization. And here the teachers are only using the one way teaching method, like the lecture method, memorization, readings. They are playing videos for the students, so the involvement of the student is very less. Again, in the summative and formative assessment, the teachers are using the questions to only know the knowledge which is based on rote memorization: define, label, list, reproduce. Actually, these are the words which are compelling the students to reproduce the same which they have learned in their physical classrooms or during their lectures. Like here's a question: label the parts of the human eye. Similarly, what is this question? This question is asking the students to label the parts of the human eye. It means they have to memorize all the names of the parts of the human eye. Or if they are going to forget any of the part to label, or maybe they forget the name of the any part, it means they are not going to get the marks for it. Comprehension, understanding the meaning of information and material. Now, what is the behavioral change or outcome in the personality of the student? Being able to translate materials from one form or format to another by explaining or summarizing and predicting consequences or effects. Here, a little bit we can say that the student is going to read and summarize and predict the meaning, predict the overall scenario which is being discussed in any kind of written content. Cognitive learning outcomes represent lower level of understanding and interpretation of raw factual information. Here, because the student is again whatever he is understanding, whatever he is predicting or summarizing, that is based on only on the knowledge. So this is a lower level of understanding and lower level of learning. The methods again here which are involved are based on one way teaching method, like the demonstrations, reading, graphic organizers, discussions. All these methods are actually based on one way. The involvement of student is very less. Formative and summative assessment, again here asking the students to describe, explain, summarize, identify, or select. So the own application of the student is missing here. This is the third level, using information and material to solve new problems. What is the behavioral outcome? Applying learned material such as rules, methods, concepts, principles, laws, and theories. Here, the learning outcome demonstrates a higher level of understanding. If the student is able to reach at that particular stage, this is comparatively a higher level of understanding. Here we can say that the student have managed to learn and understand. Now he is now able to apply whatever he learned from the previous stages. demonstrate problem solving, demonstrate application of rules, laws, or theories. So whatever content which was being taught to the student, now here this is the stage where the student is justifying that whatever he had learned previously, now he's able to give any answers based on those particular content or those particular topics or lessons. It's if any questions are being asked by anyone. Analysis: decomposing material into their components, parts, so they can be examined and understood. Now here the student is able to solve any complex problem, and he is now going to break that particular problem into smaller parts, and then he is going to study in depth, and he is going to understand all the components, all the elements of that particular problem or that particular subject or syllabus or content, or we can say that any of the lesson. Behavioral learning outcome: here the student is able to develop multiple conclusions concerning the motives, causes, inferences, and generalization. So here we can say that the student is able to give a complete debate on any topic, and student is able to justify that whatever he is having arguments with, if he is having arguments, if he is having any questions, if he is having any other complications, he or she is able to justify and ask accordingly. Cognitive learning outcome here involve a comprehension of the content and structure of the material. So here we can say that this is also a higher level of understanding, higher level of learning. Teaching learning methods here is involved case studies, discussion, labs, graphic organizers. Now here we can say that the two-way teaching method is involved. Teacher is involved as well as students are also very active in this at this stage. Now comes synthesis, using new and creative application of prior knowledge and skills. Now, whatever a student learned from the previous levels of learning, now here the student is very creative. He can apply his knowledge. He or she is having the new or innovative skills to solve any problem. Now, what is the behavioral outcome? Behavioral outcome here is the student's ability to produce a new or original end product. Now here the students is able to give something new from the previous old version of whatever he learned. Maybe he's being asked to read a story and give the overall summary of the story in his or her own words. So here we can say that the student is applying his own knowledge, his own understanding, and he is producing a new thing. Teaching learning methods involved here are research labs, plan development, multiple case studies, smaller class or small group discussion, assembling relevant information to produce a hypothesis, plan to produce recurring problems, interviews with. Here we can say that this level of learning is, if the student is reaching this level, it means he or she is now very expert in solving the problems. He or she is now very much confident to give answers of any queries related to whatever they are working on. If there is any research study, if there is any research project, or even if they are working on their exam questions, they are able to justify, they are able to give anything new to the instructors, to the teachers, that they are not only using the rote memorization, they are not only using the comprehension based on any single factor, but they are reproducing something very new Evaluation. Now, judging value of material based on personal values, opinion, or definite criteria. Student is able to produce an end product that fulfills a given purpose. Now, what was the purpose of? Because the student has started from the knowledge, and from knowledge till evaluation, there was a purpose that the student must be able to produce something innovative. Student must be able to produce his or her new skills and justify the teachers and the evaluators, as well as he must gain the higher order learning level. He must be able to think in an innovative way. He must be able to apply whatever he was learning. So here he is able to give his judgments also. He is able to give his opinion also, his thoughts also. He can do a detailed debate with the experts, with the seniors, to justify that now he is able or now he is capable of doing anything. According to Bloom's taxonomy, this was the last level. Now we will discuss about the revised taxonomy. In the 1990s, one of the Bloom's students, Lauren Anderson, revised the original taxonomy. In the amended version of the Bloom's taxonomy, the names of the major cognitive process categories were changed to indicate action. Now we will discuss about the revised taxonomy. In the 1990s, one of the Bloom's students, Lauren Anderson, revised the original taxonomy, and she amended the version of Bloom's taxonomy with the major names. The categories were changed to indicate action. Categories: noun to verb. Taxonomy reflects different forms of thinking. Thinking is an active process. Verbs which are used to describe actions, nouns do not. Reorganized categories are knowledge, product outcome of thinking, inappropriate to describe a category of thinking. Now remembering. Comprehension, now understanding. Synthesis, now creating to better reflect nature of thinking described by each category. Now she has replaced the names with the knowledge replaced with thinking, and described category of thinking. Now again she changed in remembering. Comprehension, now understanding, and synthesis is now creating. This newer taxonomy also moves the evaluation stage down a level. At the highest element becomes creating. This is a picture which is showing the overall stages of the revised Bloom taxonomy. According to Benjamin Bloom and his colleagues, there are 6 levels of cognition: knowledge, which is showing the rote memorization, recalling of facts, figures; comprehension, understanding what the facts mean; application, correct use of facts, rules, or ideas; analysis, breaking down information into component parts; synthesis, combination of facts, ideas, or information to make a new whole; evaluation, judging or forming an opinion about the information or situation. According to Lauren Anderson, creating, evaluation, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering. This is again a new version, a new replacement of the stages. Changes to Bloom's taxonomy. Here, as you can see, that there are 2 pictures which are showing the first picture is 1956, and this picture is showing us knowledge at the very lower level, then comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Now what is the change in 2001? In 2001, knowledge changed in remember, comprehension and understand, application to apply, analysis to analyze, synthesis to evaluate, create, evaluation is to create. Now these are the overall changes with the passage of time. in Bloom's taxonomy. Thank you.